Asemasa bwana. Na bila galera. Basi sio na sisi galera. Basi wewe unaleta vipi na kuiboza? Ate,
As group one, well, we've been given this approach. It is called community capacity building. So I welcome you to listen attentively, pay attention, be able to ask the questions, and we are able to answer the questions. Thank you very much. Now I'm welcoming Miss Amy in Zambia to start the presentation. Okay.
Thank you so much. I will read first. My name is Emily Zambia, and I'm going to present on outside the definition of community capacity building. Community capacity building is the capacity of the people in the community to participate in actions based on community interests, both as individuals and through groups and networks. It is also defined as the activities, resources that support and strengthen the skills and abilities of different community groups to take effective actions and be involved in the development of their community. According to the Australian Department of Development, defines community capacity as the work promoting the effective of local communities to develop, implement and sustain their own solutions to problems in the way that helps them shape and exercise control over the physical, social, economic, and cultural development. Okay, so in short, community capacity is based on a we feeling. Okay, we've all heard functionalism theory that says that for a community to develop, we're supposed to do everything together. Like all the activities that happen in our community, we're supposed to work together. So if we're doing things together in a community, we're able to share knowledge, skills, and ideas that help us to be resilient whenever we face challenges in our community. For example, I know something that my friend doesn't know, and my friend knows something that I do not know. So if we're working together, we're able to exchange those things. And if we learn other things, like other skills, we're able to do things that can bring us money and develop us. I'm continuing on community capacity building as a person. Community capacity building is a continuous process that requires to foster the private and appropriate local leadership and allows communities through their members to take responsibility for their own development. First, it is a continuous process. Community capacity building should not be about pilot skills and short-term intervention to involve long-term commitment and willingness to ask hard questions. Community capacity building requires to foster the pride and appropriate local leadership and allow communities through their own members to take responsibility for their own development. So, community capacity is not supposed to be a short-term intervention. This thing is supposed to be happening each and every day in our communities. Because for us to be able to gain new skills, for us to be able to learn other things, it's through our friends or people that we interact with in our community. So it also requires our commitment and our willingness for community capacity building to work hard. I don't know if you have any questions so far. Okay, this is how I learned. The connection is coming in because functionalization theory, it says that in order to develop a community, we're supposed to work as a team, right? So I'm saying that for community capacity building to happen, it means that to come together and do things together. So it's more like working together. So the more we're working together, the more we're sharing skills and knowledge and ideas to develop ourselves. Any other questions? If you don't have questions or comments, then I should explain myself.
I'll continue from where I have stopped. I'll talk about types of capacity building. Firstly, we have individual capacity building. This is a successful implementation begins at the individual level, where capacity building activities increase workers' knowledge and skills. An individual who's been empowered to facilitate change can impact their organization and their community, and they can further effect systematic change. An individual's level, example of capacity building activities include training, which involves one-on-one or group training, whether face-to-face or online, can increase personal knowledge and skills surrounding application. This individual receives the tools they need to take meaningful actions and advocate and help educate others in their organization, community, or personal sphere. And we have mentorship. Mentoring provides intensive personalized guidance and builds knowledge and skills. By learning from those with expertise and experience, mentees can gain confidence and build personal and professional networks. Then we have organizational capacity building. For organizations, capacity building activities may focus on shoring up sustainability, improving governance, supporting collaboration, or strengthening infrastructure. All have a known goal, strengthening the skills, resources, and abilities that allow an organization and its workers to grow and thrive. Examples of organizational capacity building include fundraising. This involves raising the funds to keep non-profits operating is always a challenge. Capacity building activities that focus on fundraising need to improve sustainability. This may include training on fundraising techniques, physical management, or development skills. Another example of organizational capacity building, it says hiring new people or seeking volunteers with expertise. Recruiting staff or volunteers with relevant knowledge and expertise means they can then pass their knowledge along to the rest of the organization. A focus on staffing, both selection and development, can promote organizational stability. Another example of organizational capacity building is forging partnership with other organizations. Which other organizations are working in your field? Could a partnership complement your mission? In many cases, collaboration makes sense both in terms of avoiding duplication of services and optimizing the work both groups perform. Another type of community capacity building is systematic capacity building. At systematic level, capacity building can be more complex, with multiple layers and moving parts involved. Capacity building activities may focus on policy development, allocation of resources, and political advocacy efforts. Examples of systematic capacity building are lobbying elected officials and lawmakers. Public policy decisions can affect entire populations. Strong, visible, and vocal lobbying efforts have a potential to challenge a range of systematic and cultural norms. We also have raising public awareness. Collaborative action can have a powerful effect, changing public opinions and raising awareness of issues. This may be especially true in the case of healthcare issues. From there,
I think there is no questions. Or if you have the questions, please let us know, and we're going to answer them after this presentation. So, as we are moving forward for this presentation, we are now looking at the domains for actions in community capacity building. What do we need to put community capacity building in action? So we have number one, community domain, institutional domain, linking domain, knowledge domain, skills and abilities, and resource mobilization. So we start by community domain. What are some strategies, or what do we need to be able to deal with the community domain? So this involves asset mapping, community profits. What are the profits which are the community going to get in that particular project? Need for the assessment and community organization. We have the institution domain, where we have strategies such as policy support for community capacity building, balanced, holistic and participatory social planning, resource allocation, investment such as financial, human resource services, including examples. We also have organizational development. Move forward by knowledge domain, where we have leadership development, critical thinking, bridge between professionals and experimented knowledge, and we have the conscious raising. Resource mobilization. We have asset mapping again, we have the funding, social support, and community structures. So from that, I leave it again to Mr. Yamigani so that he can give us the outcomes or importance of CCB. CCB means community capacity building. So welcome, Mr. Yamigani.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the outcomes of community capacity building. The Aspen Institute identifies the outcome of community capacity building as a result of collaboration of community working together. The outcomes are expanding diverse, inclusive community participation. The second one is expanding leadership base, strengthening individual skills, encouraging shared understanding and vision, strategic community agenda, facilitating consistent and tangible process towards goals, creating effective community or organizations and institutions, promoting resources utilization by the community. Then I'll also talk about the constraints of community building capacity. A lack of indigenous participation in policy formation. Capacity building as promoted within services delivery paradigm rather than varying for instinct factors or that it is an end to in itself. A need to knowledge diverse of indigenous contexts. Power imbalances between government and indigenous communities. Fragmented and complex institutions arrangements. short-term funding programs. And I also talk about the importances of community capacity building. While often overlooked, capacity building develops all important infrastructure that supports and shapes charitable, non-profits, and causes for good. Capacity building enables non-profit organizations and their leaders to develop competencies and skills that can make them more effective and sustainable, thus increasing the potential for charitable non-profits to enrich lives and solve society's most impactful problems. Reaching this far, I think we have finished our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and for the wonderful presentation. For now, we invite the classmates, the lecturer herself. If there are any comments or questions or some clarifications on what we have presented, please feel welcome and don't hesitate to ask where you don't understand. So it's time for the question.
On the constraint, I've never really heard about this. It's constraint. So what, because the constraint is no limitations or restrictions, nothing. So what stuff is that constraint for you?
You mean?
You say constraint, so I've never heard about the word of it's just
it was a typing error. Yes.
I also have another question.
Yes, madam. Go ahead.
When you're explaining about the community domain,
Yes.
can you go back there?
The community domain.
There is nothing, asset nothing mentioned you did everywhere. But then you were just saying the point. You really didn't explain it. You don't know what to say.
Okay. So, the community domain, like the strategies, I think like asset mapping is where when we are trying to do the development, when we are trying to evolve a certain community, you have exactly which area am I supposed to press on. Okay, like for example, we have these CBCs in different communities. So it's like, let's take an example. We want to develop Tandi. So if we want to develop Tandi, area, we have to exactly map which community are we supposed to deal with. I can also give you an example whereby we have this Malawi Electoral Commission. We have something they call constituency, right? So that's an example of mapping whereby they have a specific area which they are versed on what the development which you want to implement there. So I don't know if you want me to be explaining one by one.
No, I think the mistake was that you didn't define what the domain is. Because you're supposed to define a domain for them to understand the domain. So a domain is an area, owned or controlled by rural, a particular rule, so it's maybe GVHs or by government. So you need to do mapping. For terms of mapping, you go into the community and you find out what are the particular assets that are there in the community. So you draw a map showing boundaries of the community you're working with, of the community you are staying in. That's community mapping or village mapping. Think of it.
In education, we have to use education.
Right, I have a comment.
Yes.
Some of the information you presented are not important. For example, you talked of organizational capacity building.
So, especially in the presentation, you mentioned of organization of capacity building, more information on organization of capacity building. So there's a difference between an organization of capacity building and a community capacity building. So you need to fill out some information. That's yeah, you didn't define what the domain is, because there are some ways, technical ways that you need to define for the class to understand what is representing. So first you have to define the to be presented. On the outcomes of community capacity building, you didn't explain anything, even the challenges, you just read. So that's also enough for me as a presenter. If you have 10 points, you can explain all 3. 3 is enough for you to explain rather than just reading. And some presentation of etiquette. You have to choose the procedure you're going to use. Okay, your procedure that is going to be in front, you stand in front. But then I can see one of you is sitting down. You didn't even ask for permission. You may have some big issues, technical issues. So the first thing for you to do is to ask for permission that I'm not feeling well, I'll present and then I'll leave and I'll sit down. So that the audience should know what's happening.
Yeah.
So that
the right part was
no, you first one the application. You have to meet. So that is part of presentation. Your presentation is out of 50. Dress code. So each part is given 10 marks. Dress code, presentation skills, knowledge, asking and answering questions, and content. So your dress code, I've given you a 10 out of 10. Presentation skills 7 out of 10. As I can see, some of you were just reading, and there are a lot in the presentation skills. One sitting down, your friends are presenting. Knowledge of what you're presenting. Asking and answering questions. 5. Why 5? Because you are the presenter, you're supposed to ask questions. You need to make your class active, okay? They can ask you questions, but still you need to ask them something so that you should understand that they are understood whatever you're presenting.
So then we could have said that before we started presenting. Participation approach involves actively involving members of communities in decision-making, problem-solving, and developmental processes. It recognizes their local knowledge and empowers them to contribute to projects that affect their lives or their well-being, fostering a sense of ownership and responsibility. We also have an aim for community participatory. It aims to create more inclusive, when I say inclusive, I mean items required or expected, and effective outcomes by leveraging the collective wisdom and resources of the community. Another aim, it also helps to secure the ownership and commitment of the community involved. So, more about the community participatory, you're trying to involve the members in the community. In terms of decision, you can't just make a decision. It's a community now. You can't just make a decision on your own. You have to involve everybody in that community in terms of making decisions or problem solving. For example, there is leakage of, let's say there is one hole in the community. You can't just be like, okay, I'll just remove the hole, can be enjoying water as well. No, you have to sit down as a community, discuss everything, make a decision, and solve the problem. And now we can think of implementing the problem. So I think on this end, you can hear me clearly. It's all about creating for a better life for people in the community. We also have principles of community participatory, which will be explained by my friend here.
The first principle is to provide community ownership and support of the intervention. Second is provide information about community history, politics, and past mistakes. And then provide respect and voice for everyone. Okay, the principles, the main importance of the principle is to promote transparency and inclusion of people. In every community development project, you need to include the community members to include the community members in every problem they have, and what can we do to deal with the problem.
To add more on the principles, she talked about transparency. You know, as a community, as you're making decisions and solve the problem, people have to be honest, right? You can't rely on, for example, today I'm going to maybe there is a financial thing whereby people have to provide money, and then maybe you're taking the money, accountability, you're taking money, you're not going to give them the truth, and then you're like, hey, I'm going to bring it tomorrow, or I left it somewhere. You have to be honest, and it's a community. There has to be transparency. And also, there has to be shared power. I can't just say, it's going to be me who's going to rule everybody. I'm going to make decisions on my own. Hey, have something, have cars, you don't have cars, so it's going to be me who's going to do all the decisions and whatever. You have to share power. Everybody has to have equal power. And we also have the advantages of community participatory, which improves motivation, increases learning and feeling of ownership. The good thing about this approach might be the advantage of community participatory. I said it brings confidence, right? You have a sense of recognition through the community. And it also builds awareness. You are able to say out you say it. You're able to say out your voice. You're able to say, no, you don't have to do that, you don't have to do that. It's a community. Your ideas matter. There's also a disadvantage of community participatory, which is language barrier. I'm not going to explain on the language barrier because I'm going to ask you guys to explain to me on the language barrier. I'm going to ask everybody once. Language barrier as a disadvantage of community participatory. And another disadvantage is not interested in participation. You know you're going to be in a community. You have to do this as a group, and then you're like, me, I'm not going to come, I'm not going to attend to it. And maybe me, I'm sick or whatever. You just have to be there. It's a community. It's affecting everybody's life, right? So the not interested in participation is really, really a limitation to this approach, which is community participatory. Another one is costly. A major internal challenge in public participation is inadequate financial resources and human resources. You know, it's the community. For example, there are some people who can't really provide when it comes to financially, right? So it's something these people should just provide for everybody. No. So it's costly because it's not everybody who can afford to provide something for the community. The last one is low efficiency. So I remember again I told you I'm going to ask somebody the language barrier as a disadvantage of community language barrier. So I'm going to choose anybody I want. Yeah. Can you explain to me a disadvantage, a language barrier is a disadvantage to community language barrier?
Okay, on my own understanding, I can say language barrier would be like, let me find the right word.
You don't know, you can just tell us so we can talk about it.
Yeah, I can ask someone that I'll come back to you.
You guys. So you gave one thing, so when doing addition, I've been including me, I'm left with you gave one thing addition. Hey, can you answer?
Okay.
Sure, it's for somebody to explain it just to me, then you're not giving me the thing I want. Can you answer? I'm serious.
Okay, for language barrier, it depends on the stage and the theme. They must be communicating in the language so that they understand each other. On the stage and the people, they must communicate in the language that they understand.
Alright, so it seems like you. What should you do?
No, but I feel like language barrier can only come in if people are having different languages. I don't know. But if people are community, that trait means that they have common language.
That's what I was about to call it.
Yeah.
They're looking at
No,
Because it's a community. Why can we say there will be a language barrier?
when I say, okay, when I say, okay,
community, community approaches to community development, okay? So one of the approach is participatory approach, whereby you are trying to involve every member of the community to participate in any other development activity that is there in the community. Okay? So language barrier maybe can come if the owners of the project are not from the community. But then we have community workers who are working with the community members. These community developers are well trained, well educated, that they can be able to interpret whatever the donor is communicating with the community members. Okay. And if you are working in a community, one of the principles is culture, respect their culture, okay? So, for example, a lot of donors, they try to learn some of the languages, some of the technical ways that community members use. So before you go into a community, you have to at least learn something from the community. That's why we talk of village mapping. You go there, go around the community, understand the community before you come in with the project. So that language barrier.
okay, I've heard your opinion, okay? Just maybe. The moment you say people try, you know, like there can be some outside people who are just trying to do the what, maybe they have their project, as you say. But then the moment that you say people try to do it, it's still a barrier. Right?
But because
Wait. So you can say it can't always be perfect. You can't always look at the positive things as a community. It can't just always be perfect and everything. There's gonna be something that's what I this disadvantage. Maybe me the thing was tricky, that's how I was asking you because it's a tricky question, right? I knew that you guys gonna be like a community. There can be different languages and everything, but then it can't always be perfect. You can invite some people who are outsiders to help you out. in everything and whatnot. So just after you're trying to learn some languages, some cards, it's still a barrier there. It's affecting those people even though they're trying to what? To help you.
But still, I disagree with your point. That language barrier is one of the disadvantages of participating.
Alright.
Because even if the project is controlled by people from outside, you try to engage people from the community to produce the project. So if you happen to work with a certain organization and you're given a project and you don't understand the language of that particular area, you should try your best to find someone who will be interpreting whatever you're trying to deliver to the community so that they can communicate clearly.
I'm going to accept that because but maybe we're not like that. Better. Alright, thank you.
My project, you know,
you're trying to leave, there should be somebody in between. There is a mediator.
Most of people there are going to see it. I've worked with several projects. Madonna,
Most of the time this happens with the media members themselves.
so some information is there on the internet, but you need to filter the information. So you can leave some points. Language barrier, or maybe
If you explain that.
yeah.
That's the end of the presentation. Thank you for giving us all your attention and for the questions you have answered and you have been asked. Thank you.
I like your confidence.
Questions, madam?
Questions?
Your approach was like on a community participation, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned something like not everyone who can provide to the community. Actually, I want to understand how does it connect? Because we are talking about community participation, and at the same time, you are talking about not everyone. What are you trying to mean by that statement?
Thank you for that question. It's very, very intelligent. You didn't say that. It's a community, right? So there are different classes. There's middle, there is upper, and there is lower class. Okay? When it comes to participation, people are participating. You can't say that you're trying to promote a community and then there's not going to be a financial thing. What do you get to provide? So you can, because all of us, just for their participation, it's enough. Right? Some people are just going, okay, we're just going to give ideas, but then we're not able to provide financially. You can say, no, because you're not financially stable, don't participate or whatnot. Okay? So it's a point where people in the community need to understand that not everybody can provide financially. Of course, yes, you can provide participating, giving out ideas, but it's going to be one part where somebody can provide something. And as I said, on financial, it's not everybody who can provide. So there's going to be people out there who's going to be like, okay, let's provide and let's do that. But it's going to be inadequate for the work for the community, which is a hindrance for community participation.
Right, of course, you have just explained, but I would like to comment on that and disagree with you on this statement whereby you're talking about not everyone who can participate in the community development thing. So we are talking about participators again here. You are very much on financial thing and on the ideas, but that's not what community participation means. So if you are talking about community participation, you are talking about everyone in the community taking part in a certain particular project. For example, if a person cannot provide financially, he has human resource. Okay? Remember, when we are dealing with community participation, we are dealing with a community whereby will need the local available materials. So in local available materials, we're going to have human resources, whereby if you cannot provide financially, you're supposed to go there, make sure that you assist on something. Let's take an example on a community has a project whereby they want to build a block or a block of flats in that particular community. The community members, not all community members will be able to support, but they will be able to give their participation by going like finding sand, making some bricks. The women will go to fetch water and the like. So it's like everyone is going to participate. Even the kids too, they're going to participate by attending the classes. So they have participated in that particular project. So I personally disagree with you on this point whereby you're saying like not everyone can participate.
And also when it comes to finance, things about money. If you do not have money in the community, that's when this plan comes in of you reaching the organizations outside the community to help you. So
So it seems like you're thinking, I said it's not everyone who's paying financially. Some people can just be there to give out ideas and do other things. So it's like you're bringing up a point, not like you're
You mentioned good things. Not everyone who can provide the community.
Exactly, you can provide ideas,
yeah.
That's what I think.
You're just backing up on yourself like.
You're bringing up my point.
No. You say not everyone.
But